Aloha and welcome to Project Euler Problem 2. This is our second practice WOD of the JavaScript 1 module. And the goal of this is to get a little more experience using jsfiddle, a little more experience with workouts of the day, a little more experience writing JavaScript, all the good stuff that we're doing. Prelude to this is definitely have finished the previous practice WOD. That's good. Don't start this one if you haven't done that one. We want to keep thinking about this JavaScript style guide, reading through it, kind of skimming through it. Obviously, or not necessarily obviously, but later on in the semester we'll have automated tool support for conformance. But for now, it'd be good to it's a good way of kind of reading about best practices in using JavaScript. You'll learn a lot of things just from reading it. So spend a little time, 5-10 minutes. Okay, so then the next thing is we need to do is to log into jsfiddle. And if you've logged in before, it sets a cookie, so you're still there. Not a bad idea to kind of look at the settings. Your tabs are okay. Definitely want the console enabled. Definitely don't want those boilerplates. I don't like the auto run. So that's how I like it. Result window. You don't want it big, you want it kind of small. And again, once you save it and it tries to evaluate things, it's going to make this result window white. If you find that irritating, you can copy this code, put it into your CSS, save it again. Now the result window is the same color as everything else. I just find that to be a little nicer. Okay, so for this practice, we'll solve problem 2 from Project Euler. So let's take a look. And what this says is each new term in the Fibonacci sequence is generated by adding the previous 2 terms. So hopefully you've all seen Fibonacci. So 1, 2, 1 plus 2 is 3, 2 plus 3 is 5, 3 plus 5 is 8, etc. That's what the Fibonacci sequence is. And we want to look at all the Fibonacci numbers less than 4 million. And we want to find the sum of the even value terms. So 2 is even, 3, 5, no, 8. So the total of 2 and 8 is 10. And then 13, no, 21, no, 34, yes. So 10 plus 34 is 44, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, so that's what we got to do. We got to generate the Fibonacci numbers less than 4 million and add up all the even ones. And when we write this, we probably want to take a parameter like max val and set it to something a lot less than 4 million so we can kind of check our work on a smaller number of Fibonacci numbers and see if things are okay. All right, so basically we'll start the timer, create the JavaScript function, informally test, press save, stop your timer. Okay, just like before. So let's go to jsfiddle and let's start our timer. Okay, so here we go. So we're going to say function project Euler 2, and we want to take that max val, which eventually will be 4 million, but will be a lot less as we're testing our program. Now what do we want to do? Well, to me, what makes sense when you're generating Fibonacci numbers, since you got to add the 2 numbers to get the third, why don't we start with, we'll make two little counters that run along. We'll say previous equals 1, let cur equal 2. So those are our first 2 Fibonacci numbers. We'll add them together to get the next one, and then we'll reset previous and current to be, kind of shift once we get 3 as the next Fibonacci number, then we'll set cur to be 3, prev to be 2, loop around, right? That's how we'll do it. So the idea, and then we need a total, right? We need to be summing up those even numbered ones. So we can say for let, no, we don't say for actually. What we're going to say is while cur is less than max val. right? So while curr is less than max value, we're going to be generating our Fibonacci numbers and incrementing total. So the current curr, our curr pointer, is going to be pointing at the head of our Fibonacci sequence. So we need to ask if curr mod 2 equals 0. So if it's an even number, if curr is an even Fibonacci number, then we want to increment total. Okay. And then otherwise, what we want to do is we want to get the next Fibonacci number. So how do we do that? I think we can say something like the next number is going to be prev plus curr. And now we know that we can say prev equals curr, curr equals next, and then we can zoom around the loop again. And then at the end of it, we can just say return total, right? So that should work. I don't know if it will or not. It would be nice to kind of watch what the output, what's happening in this loop as we do it. So what I think would be cool would be something like a console.log with prev, curr, and total. And that way we can actually see our Fibonacci sequence being generated to tell if that's true, and then we can see if total's getting updated the right way. Okay, so that looks pretty good. So let's try project Euler 2, and we'll give it, what did he have here? He had up to, let's say, less than 90. So we'll try it with 90 and see what happens. So if I type run, okay, so I get some numbers. Wait a second, let me clear the console, type run. All right. Come on, scroll. Okay, so here we go. Start off with 1 and 2. So 2 is our Fibonacci number. Total is now going to be 2 because that was even. Next Fibonacci number is 3. That's right. That's odd, so we don't do anything. The next Fibonacci is 5. 2 plus 3 is 5. That's cool. Still odd. 3 plus 5 is 8. 8's even, so now total gets updated. 13, no, so not updated. 21, no, so not updated. 34, yes, updated. So now we're at 44. 55, no. 89, no. And we're done. Okay. Okay, so, but we don't have a final value being printed out here, and I realize now the reason is because we got to actually print out the final value. So we do it this way, and we hit run. Then we get all those console logs plus the final value of the function. So to get the actual answer that we want, we got to do 4 million. 4,000,000. I think the console.log will be a little irritating if we do that. So let's just clear console and run this, and then we get this number, or whatever it is, 4,613,732, which, okay, I'm assuming that's right. All right, so we go back. Oh, we got to press the save button to create a URL. So last thing is to press save. Now I've got something we could submit. Next thing is stop your timer, record your time. So 5:49 was the time for this one. And yeah, RX less than 7 minutes. If you're taking more than 12 minutes, which you might, you're still learning JavaScript, you might be making a lot of syntax errors, don't despair. Basically, once you get to 12 minutes, what I would say is, you could just abandon and start over, or just keep working till you complete it, then start a whole new Start over with jsfiddle. Try to do it again. Don't try not to like look at the code you just wrote. Try to write it from scratch. Keep doing it till you can write it within 10 minutes, say, and only make one or two errors, and that will be good practice. You know. At first things might take a little time. Don't despair. Just keep plugging away at it. Watch the screencast if you're having troubles, and you'll get there.